We used two of the most advanced AI models to create two characters. We will put them face to face. Their arguments will be evaluated by 5 independent AI models across multiple criteria, scored from 0 to 100. This is AI Debates. Has Trump's use of social media in 2025 enhanced governmental transparency or continued to spread misinformation?
Trump's use of social media in 2025 is framed as enhancing transparency and connecting directly with Americans. Supporters argue that bypassing traditional media allows citizens to hear unfiltered messages, policy explanations, and government updates. Critics claim misinformation spreads, but proponents counter that direct communication holds leaders accountable, encourages engagement, and allows voters to judge policies firsthand. The emphasis is on empowering the public with immediate access to information, rather than letting narratives be shaped solely by mainstream outlets.
Trump's 2025 social media approach has systematically undermined efforts to combat misinformation while claiming to promote transparency. His executive order to stop government censorship could chill years of efforts to combat the proliferation of false information online. The order claims the federal government had previously infringed on free speech rights under the guise of combating misinformation, essentially weaponizing free speech to protect false information. Trump has made clear his view that fact-checking by online platforms and broadcasters interferes with free speech. This represents a dangerous inversion of transparency, not providing clearer government communication, but dismantling guardrails against disinformation. Rather than enhancing democratic discourse, Trump's policies create an environment where lies and facts compete on equal footing.
How have Trump's 2025 election security executive orders upheld or challenged democratic institutions?
Trump's 2025 election security executive orders are framed as protecting the integrity of U.S. elections. Supporters argue they ensure every legal vote counts, prevent fraud, and maintain public confidence in democratic institutions. Critics claim overreach, but proponents say that strong safeguards strengthen democracy, rather than weaken it, by making the system transparent, accountable, and secure for all Americans.
Trump's 2025 election security orders represent a dangerous assault on democratic institutions. The Brookings Institution warns these orders run contrary to the right to vote, which is fundamental to our democratic system. Multiple lawsuits challenge the order's legality, with voting rights groups arguing they force federal agencies and state and local election officials to make an array of changes to election procedures. Federal judges have already permanently blocked some orders for violating the First Amendment, while the ACLU and coalition partners filed suit calling the orders unconstitutional. Rather than securing elections, these orders weaponize election integrity rhetoric to restrict voting access and intimidate election officials, undermining the very democratic processes they claim to protect.
What role have Trump's clemency grants and appointees in 2025 played in accountability or national polarization?
Trump's 2025 clemency grants and appointments are framed as restoring fairness and accountability to the justice system. Supporters argue that pardons correct overly harsh sentences and reward loyalty and service, while judicial appointments ensure courts uphold the Constitution and rule of law. Critics say these moves polarize the nation, but supporters counter that strong leadership often sparks debate, and principled decisions protect American values, reinforce the justice system, and hold institutions accountable. Trump's approach emphasizes merit, lawfulness, and protecting citizens over political convenience.
Trump's 2025 clemency and appointments have systematically eroded accountability while deepening polarization. Trump granted clemency to more than 1,600 individuals by July 2025, including 16 corrupt politicians, essentially rewarding corruption. His mass pardons for January 6 defendants send a clear message that political violence against democracy faces no consequences. Meanwhile, Trump requires political appointees to oversee federal grant decisions to ensure consistency with agency priorities and the National Interest Code for partisan litmus tests. Experts warn this would increase corruption and threaten the nation's health and economy by upending peer-review traditions for research grants. These actions abandon merit-based governance for partisan loyalty, normalizing corruption while weaponizing government against perceived enemies.
Did Trump's leadership style in events like the 2025 G20 at his Doral Resort inspire patriotism or erode trust in government?
Trump's 2025 G20 leadership at door all showcased bold, America First diplomacy. By hosting world leaders on U.S. soil and negotiating directly, he demonstrated strength, decisiveness, and national pride, inspiring citizens that America is respected and powerful. Critics claim optics erode trust, but supporters argue that results and strong messaging matter more than appearances, and seeing leaders act confidently reinforces faith in government effectiveness. Trump proves that patriotism grows when Americans witness their president protecting interests, securing deals, and standing tall on the world stage.
Trump's decision to host the 2026 G20 at his Doral resort has severely eroded trust in government by exposing blatant self-dealing. Hosting the summit at a Trump property could invite the kind of allegations of self-dealing that forced him to withdraw a similar G7 proposal during his first term. He abandoned a similar effort during his first term to host the Group of Seven at his Doral resort following bipartisan criticism that it could benefit him financially. This decision blurs lines between government and business and draws ethics concerns despite claims it will not profit from the event. Rather than inspiring patriotism, this corrupt use of presidential power to enrich his business empire demonstrates contempt for ethical governance, making America look like a banana republic on the world stage.
Overall, has Trump's influence on the Republican Party and policies like Project 2025 implementation strengthened or weakened American democracy?
Trump's influence on the Republican Party and initiatives like Project 2025 strengthen American democracy by restoring accountability, voter engagement, and policy focus on the people. Supporters argue that by challenging entrenched elites and reshaping the party around America First principles, he ensures government serves citizens, not special interests. Critics claim polarization, but proponents counter that robust debate, citizen involvement, and strong leadership keep democracy alive and responsive. Trump proves that bold, principled action challenging the status quo and empowering voters reinforces democratic institutions and revitalizes civic participation.
Trump's influence on the GOP and Project 2025 implementation represents a catastrophic assault on American democracy. If fully implemented, the United States would be unrecognizable and resemble autocracies around the world, such as Hungary and Turkey, which have severely weakened their democracies. Even conservatives view Project 2025 as a serious threat to democracy, civil rights, and the separation of church and state. These plans could strip overtime protections from 4.3 million workers, reduce food assistance for 40 million people, and eliminate 220,000 jobs. Project 2025's devastating agenda is already being enacted in the chaotic frenzy of Trump's first months. This authoritarian blueprint transforms the Republican Party from a conservative political movement into an anti-democratic force that threatens America's constitutional order.